Hey, what's up, fam? I've been thinking recently, kind of just the idea of where everybody kind of stands within the Fairy Tail team after a year of the events with the war with Albreth and Acnologia. And obviously, a year for them can be drastic. We went from Natsu being kind of 9 Demon Gates level, definitely up there with somewhere in the definitely within that he was upper 9 Demon Gates tier, kind of S class, but not to the degree that we saw after the year time skipped, where he was in base. He was definitely near Spriggan level without any of his powered up modes, and then obviously once we saw him use his Igneal, like Dragon King Mark, like temporary power up that he had that he'd been saving against Seraph. We had the Fire Dragon King mode, everything that we got throughout that arc. And obviously leading up to Dragon Force and the continuing power ups. But I'm wondering where everyone kind of stands in this right now. And I'm not I'm not talking about the idea of trying to get like that 7 Fire Dragon form that he had at the end of the series against his fight with Acnologia, unless he had it by himself. I'm not trying to kind of theorize of temporary power ups that people can get through transferring magic quantity onto another person. I'm talking about you put them against an opponent and see how well they fare. And the way I kind of am seeing it, I'm expecting everyone to be pretty far up Spriggan level. Even Lucy. I think Lucy is definitely going to be the weakest out of the 5, but I think she's definitely still competent, still capable, and able to do stuff on her own. We saw definitely, she's pretty much been solid as her own probably since she got her whip from Virgo, and then obviously after the time skip, and she got a second origin, she was definitely way more capable, and then especially after she got her Star Dress, she was able to handle things on her own to a really well degree. We saw her in her fight with Brandish, how much skill she gained. She's come a long way. Obviously, though, definitely out of the 5 of them, I would say she is the weakest. I mean, that won't surprise anyone. I think the hierarchy will be really shaky when it comes to like Urza and Gray. Wendy, I'm assuming Wendy will be 1 rank above Lucy. She'll be 4 out of 5. Ranked 4th out of the 5 groups, Natsu being the strongest. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Wendy was close to being able to pass up Urza or Gray. And I know people are going to look at me like, what the hell? Like, Gray was able to, once he got pissed and got that, like, super buffed up self, he was able to crush down Invul, one of the, I'd honestly say he's probably, like, Spriggan number 4, maybe 5. And then Urza being able to, like, take that meteor that was going to destroy Fiore. And obviously, they are very powerful, but you have to keep in mind, Wendy at, like, 14 was able to use Dragon Force at will and compete with all these people and take attacks from Spriggans. And we don't know how... The only person that seemed to have, like, really trained hard throughout that year was Natsu. I don't think that there was any emphasis that Wendy, like, went on a hard, like, training. And even if she had a decent amount since then, she could easily, like, catch up with Gray and Urza. Gray, though, I think I would like to see more of his devil slaying magic, his demon slaying. Actually, I think it was a curse. It was very shaky on whether or not it was a curse or magic. I don't want to get into that discussion right now. I would like to see more from him, maybe see if he's ever going to live up to that Absolute Zero title that Silver had with his position in the 9 Demon Gates and with his ice magic, both his armor, and then in, like, the editor notes it was, like, describing it, but we never got anything that would really suggest Absolute Zero as, like, a feat or display of, like, the cold. And then obviously Urza, maybe new armor. I'm really just hoping not to see her Vagabond armor again, the fire pants. Don't want to see her as the Vagabond. Her magic is supposed to be called the Knight. Her being upper Spriggan, I don't think anybody but Natsu could be standing at that Larcade, August, Irene level of Spriggan. But only Natsu I think could be up there. I think the rest of them could be Spriggan level, Gray and Urza being just below, that top three of the Spriggan like I was talking about. And then Wendy and Lucy being that lower to middle level. Obviously, the Spriggan's power levels were, there were definitely some fluxes in there. But I think that kind of that position that they were at really sets them as kind of a selling point for them when you're talking about power levels. I don't know. I would like to see also kind of like, obviously there's a lot of other characters. You could talk about Gadgil and Laxus and all them, but I think obviously the 5 main ones would be the ones to discuss. Also, since they're the ones involved in the big story right now with the Dragon Gods. I definitely want to see what Natsu's capable of. I think Natsu and Wendy are the ones that I really want to see, like how far they've come. And then Gray, like Urza, I'm just like, as long as I don't see her fire pants, I'm fine with her doing stuff. And Lucy, I want to see what she can do, but definitely not to the same degree. I enjoyed like the progress of, like, if you reread it, just like seeing Wendy when she first showed up and then seeing where she's at now. And then obviously Natsu, because Natsu's my boy, he's the main character. He's going to be the head runner and all this. Actually, now that I think about it, Gray should be a valuable asset against the Water Dragon God with his ice magic. But again, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. I think it'll be cool if it's like I was talking about, like the Water Dragon God. If he like fucks with a whole ocean, like horizon to horizon, starts fucking with an ocean, and then Gray uses his ice make silver world, and then just flash freezes the whole thing. And then Dragon God just gets like really pissed off and annoyed. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on about that old topic until we get there. But otherwise, yeah, tell me in the comments below and what you think. Where do you think all these characters, like, what if you put them in a power scale? Like, who do you think is like 1 through 5 with the main group? Like, what character would you kind of compare them to? How strong they are, and what exactly do you think is going to be first to see from them? Like, what kind of, like, big stuff? The first, like I said, what we get from, like, the first big thing from Gray is him freezing, like, an ocean. They're going to see Urza just, like, unsheathing her sword. She'll, like, cut a mountain up, kind of like Madara when he sliced those mountains, and they didn't destroy them, but it's like the force lifted them way up. Are we going to see Natsu, like, evaporate another? Well, we already saw him, like, evaporate the lake in Magnolia, and that thing is huge if you ever look at the map of it. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, tell me what you think about that. If you like my videos, maybe sub to my channel, and if you are subbed already, thank you very much. Maybe check out my other videos. I do mostly manga and some comics. The manga I do is mostly Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black Clover. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening. Bye.